All right, welcome to Soul Tales, episode 2. And tonight, top 5. We'll be going over our top 5 sneakers of the year. All right, let's bring in the panel and see who we got in the house tonight. Fellas, welcome to Soul Tales, episode 2. Who we got? We got E Rich, we got CB, we got Be Easy, and we got my man E from OT Show. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Yo.
Thanks for having me.
All right, look, y'all ready for the night?
This is
Yes,
one
sir.
of the shows that you always look forward to.
This is what we always look forward to. Look, as a pure sneakerhead, I look forward to this because, one, you get to go back and reminisce of all the wins or the things that you didn't get over the year, the things that you wanted, and kind of spice up your list and try to figure out, okay, what was top 5? And that's what we're going to get into tonight. But let's start with everybody. See how everybody's doing. E Rich, what's good with you, bro?
Good, man. Reporting from the West Coast, the best coast. Good to see everybody in here. Man, we need to do this one more often. I feel like this almost feels like what we call, come to the table. This is where it's almost like we setting the guidelines of what is the top 5 for the year for everybody else.
Absolutely.
So this is what it is.
CB.
Yo, man, I've been looking forward to this one and couldn't do a better show with a better group of gentlemen here. So, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I'm pumped.
Absolutely. Be Easy, what's good, bro? Hold on 1 second.
Be on
There
the
you
show.
Go ahead, bring it back. Be Easy, what's good with you?
Hey, fellas, thanks y'all for having me back again. I'm always ready to show my top 5 and I always love the commute for the rest of y'all guys here, my follow sneakerheads and YouTubers.
Yeah, okay. E.
Hey,
It's
man,
good.
glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me again, man. It's always a good time, man. Bro, just to chop it up about sneakers, some shit that I love, like I'll do for free. I do on any given time, so it don't really matter. So, hey, nah, man, I'm just happy to be here, man. Hey, glad we made it to the end of the year, man. God damn. Woo.
Oh my God,
Bless.
man! Look, end of the
Bless.
year.
Bless.
It's been a long year, and then when you go back over the sneaker list, as you're like, wow, that came out this year. That
Yeah.
goes to show you
Hey,
I
going
had to
back,
do that.
it's some joints you forgot though, son.
that was like that was this
Like,
year. That was this year, bro. Yeah, it's
shit ran together.
yeah, and I'm privy to the lists. I know what everybody has on their list, and it's like, wow, I forgot about that. So this should be a fun conversation because yes, there's some undeniables on this list, but then there's some like, oh damn, I forgot about that. But before we get to that, let's just talk about a couple sneaker news stories or whatever. So this one popped up on social media a few weeks ago, and I pinned it so we can talk about it because this is an interesting topic here. So you got LaMelo and you got Michael Jordan, right? And so the topic came up that LaMelo's first signature shoe is the best first signature shoe since MJ's first signature shoe. Now you got to think about that. So there hasn't been another best looking signature shoe debut since Michael Jordan's one. Now, exactly. So I highly disagree with that. But let's because you got to think of, you mean to tell me there hasn't been another superstar, or some superstars don't even get their own shoe, but there hasn't been another basketball player that had a signature shoe up until LaMelo Ball that hasn't compared to the Jordan? Take that back. No. I got one that comes off that the one already. The first thing that came to my mind when I read this story was Penny.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, exactly.
That was it.
Yes.
Exactly.
That right there, I was like, hell no. Like LaMelo, no. I mean, and I'm not dissing it because it's a Puma. And actually, if you look at the detail, it's got wings. It's got a lot of intricate things, and it's really nice. And then we all have, the sneaker community has grown to love an all red shoe, right? Things that you wouldn't think of years ago, but an all red shoe these days just kills it in the sneaker community. And you can just think about any all red shoe that you've seen, like you got to have it. But let's go around. Let's see what some thoughts are. So we all agree on Penny. Is there anybody else or anything else that you make in between this gap right here?
Iverson.
Yeah, I was just about to say Iverson. Yeah,
Yep.
I got one that's a sleeper. PG joints. The first PG joints was tough, bro.
There you go.
I give you that one. I was gonna say if you look at it, whether it's his signature or not, but you talk about Kobe's the Hirachis.
The Crazy
when he
Eight?
came out.
Oh.
Well, you can go with the
Crazy
Crazy
Eight?
Eights, but you can go
Crazy
with
Eight.
both. His first signature shoe on both lines was definitely
Yeah.
better than this one. Like, and they're classics. Like the Crazy Eights was like that one shoe, and I said this to CB before. The Iverson was like the first shoe that was not Nike that I put my foot in. The other shoe was of that. It was the Crazy Eight, and it was like the black and white silhouette was everything. And then we turned around, and as soon as they started coming out with the team colors, it was a wrap. It was like you had to cop those. But I think everything when it comes to iconic level of that first shoe, right? You're looking at the person, you're looking at the superstar, what they did. I think what they're doing here is, let's just be honest, they're building his brand because he had a better, he has a better commercial look than Lonzo did, and where he's at. You know what I mean? He's playing for the organization of the GOAT, right? He is a different breed than what he was better than his brother as he got into the league. So you have to match that with what you're trying to market. Unless, I mean, he's really a good ass player. So I think that we reach it when it comes to that first silhouette shoot of on the lines of the man that he works for. Let's not do that.
I think a lot of the people that actually made that statement didn't see those other people that we was talking about anyway.
Right.
So
right.
they
They're
wasn't
literally
there.
talking with no context.
Yeah, they wasn't there. They're hyping it, but they wasn't there like we were there. So it's no way he has the best. But.
Yeah, no. I mean, what you can even go Tim Duncan.
Oh yeah.
Shit. The Air Raids, the Tim Hardaway joints.
Yeah.
He's at the bottom
There's
of
a
the list.
Right.
CB, anything come to mind, CB?
I mean, we've named a lot of them, and obviously the first thing that I thought of immediately was the Reebok question. That was the first one that came to mind for me. But it just goes to show the day and age that we're living in, where it's very much whatever the most recent thing that you've seen is the newest, hottest thing. And like you said, like they're building the man's brand up. So it's I'm not surprised that there's someone out there, there's multiple people out there making this statement, but also we live in a day and age where people do hot takes. People like Skip Bayless and those motherfuckers have radio and TV shows and all that when they're just spouting nonsense. So some people are just gonna say whatever take sounds good on wax and go with it, whether they believe it or not.
I got another one for you.
I did buy into the hype though. I definitely got the motherfuckers.
I heard they were incredibly comfortable. Like they're super
I ain't get them yet, but I've got them coming in the mail. But yeah, I definitely got them.
They aren't bad looking at all. I mean, this all red, and then I've seen like a deep blue, and it's a weird looking blue. It's you can't even say navy blue, so it's like a shade lighter than navy blue. But I mean, these things look. I mean, they're good. But I will say, I mean, I thought of another one.
They sell them out too.
Absolutely. I mean, because they're inexpensive too. I mean, they're within like the 150 range. I mean, compared,
it's like $125.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The Darwin, Dennis Rodman's first signature shoe.
The worm joints.
I mean, come on now. So, yeah, whoever wrote this was just was trying to get this clickbait going on.
Yeah.
I wonder, and I guess this would pose a question off of what like Be Easy said, right? Which is, so if it's more of a generational thing, right? To say that they didn't see, right, who we got to see as far as like and have that. Well, I also feel like there's not that many superstars in the league that can garnish their first, really have a first line shoe, right? But let's put it out there, like, because I was thinking like PG's first shoe was dope as hell. If you really want to talk about it, nobody was feeling Fila until Grant Hill put them on, and then next thing you know, everybody was rocking Filas all of a sudden. When that was the shoe, you got clowned if you was wearing that like a K Swiss. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's say if we are, what I was saying is, let's say it is this. Let's keep it as if we are growing up in this day and age, right? Off of his shoe and whoever else has one, though, would that be the statement that we would make, almost as if, like, in our day and age, we would say, like, our comparison would be if somebody said that Iverson 1 is the equivalent to the Jordan 1. Because I feel like that's where they're at with it, right? That younger generation is saying, what is their number one based upon what they're seeing today, right? Because nobody else has that fan affair of who's their superstar right now. We had multiple back then.
Right.
I feel you, because when I think about like the Kyries, the KDs,
the KD, hell, LeBron. I mean, we just left. We left
but
Bron's.
The first
they're
LeBron.
older now, though.
Yeah,
I think
they're older. Now, right.
Yeah, they've been at least 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18 years. They probably looking at the Dames and the Donovan Mitchells. And to be honest, he probably does have the best shoe, number one shoe out of that group. So, but overall, no.
Is it better than the first Greek Freaks, though?
That is it to me.
I honestly like the newest Greek Freaks the best.
Yeah, I like the new
all
Greek
of
Freaks. The first Greek Freaks were kind of
so far, but that's
to me. I like them better than the first Greek Freaks. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the first Greek Freaks. Like, they kind of evolved to me liking them. But I don't know what the hell is happening with the KD. We can spend a whole new show, a different show.
Hey, KD disappoints me, son.
But if you think about it, it goes with who he is today. Like, when KD looks like trash
his
right
personality now, yeah.
And his shoe fits his personality.
He doesn't care. It's all basketball only.
God,
so I knew somebody that was Noah's roommate, and they said KD just went to the gym all day. That's all he cared about. He was a gym rat, so he didn't really care about shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah, wow.
He just can't lift for shit.
Yeah,
he gets shot 5-0 at the NBA Combine because you don't need that to shoot from unlimited range.
He was more toned when he first got in. Like, I feel like he had more muscle mass when he first got into the league, and like now this dude,
go pull up some of those old pictures when he was at Texas, and just I just think you're pathetic. You might be thinking about what Giannis looked like after 3 years in the league. But look up those old Texas pictures of KD and give yourself a laugh.
Okay, got you.
And the last, I don't even remember what the first Kyrie's looked like, but I used to like Kyrie's until, he didn't like the last ones that came out. So
and those actually look pretty all right. Those all right.
Now, the first Kyrie,
there's also not a lot of dudes getting signature shoes nowadays. You know what I mean?
Well, and that was the thing. Like, we didn't even mention like Trey Young's, like, his first one, right? So you talking about that, and that's why I said, like, what Yeezy said, it almost clicked, right? Like, we have to take the equation out of our generation, right? Because we have so many that we can go off of. If we're going off of what they just got going on now, like you said, the Dames, the Spider, Mitchell, like, they don't really have, but they have it, but their signature ones are strictly off of who we wouldn't consider, like, in the realm of, like, that superstar that we like. We know we copping them, you know what I mean? Because they just really don't have that heat. So ultimately, like Trey Young and Melo probably have the best silhouette as far as their first shoe as this generation's superstar.
Yeah. Who do you think has the number one most selling shoe for kids?
I would say
I would say Kyrie too.
I would say Curry. When I was my son's playing basketball,
Steph Curry.
Every kid, especially every Caucasian or Asian kid, had the Steph Curry's on.
You better believe, literally, guys of my heritage are not dunking.
All the Caucasians and all the Asian kids had on the Steph Curry's. I was like, damn, like, where's the Jordans? Everybody had them
on both sides. You hit CB on both sides, so he's destined to get Curry's.
I was
which is wild because I actually don't own a pair of Curry's. I actually wanted some of the Under Armour joints that he had before they gave him his signature line. And if we were all paying attention like we were when he just became the all-time greatest shooter of all time, stamp certified, because he's got the numbers now to back it up. They're moving forward with doing the Jordan thing with him. Under Armour is giving him his own brand, and so the Curry brand is going to be the exact same thing to Under Armour as Jordan is to Nike now, which is that's dope for him.
They need to get more designers in there for Under Armour to have access
Yeah.
to all this tech, this tech appropriate stuff. You know, they were the first with the compression, the kind of thing. You know, they innovated that game, and then they got in the shoes. I mean, then you know their shoe game is actually they're comfortable, but like they need to get some designers in there. Like that's the whole thing. Like the reason why Puma's hot right
I'll get their
now.
golf shoes.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I'm assuming they have them, but yeah,
I mean,
I get
they
hey, look, I
sponsored
get the
Jordan
Steph Curry
Speed.
golf line.
But I think they just need I mean, he is their marquee athlete that'll give them those sales, but it's mostly kids. I think they need a marquee like celebrity, like rapper.
They need
or somebody
to find their Tinker Hatfield, bro. Which
Right,
it's
yeah.
not like
To be
those
the
dudes just exist all over the place. There's one of them.
Yeah.
And didn't Rocky have a shoe with them?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do
Didn't
good.
A$AP?
Yeah, nah. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Hold
you know
up,
what?
though.
they
I
did
don't
limited
think he-
pairs and it's still resales, which is
But
wild.
I don't think he designed them though. I just think they try to put his name on some shit. He didn't had no design to him though.
Right.
But Clay, you make an interesting point though, if you think about it though, right? And it's almost the equation that was used on us though, right? You just said who sells the most to kids though, right? And it's who am I used to wearing? And then now that he has his own brand, it's the Jordan brand all over again, right? It's those kids that was wearing them when they was kids, and then all of a sudden he got his brand, he starts retroing them, he starts getting the new ones out. So now his, and if you will, even, you know, I hate to say oh boy's name, you know, that's on that one show, you know, that's got the hairline that's back there, right? And always be yelling, that one guy. But he made the case, right?
Screaming
like, this
Gotta
guy,
say the middle initial.
this guy has not only stamped that he is the greatest shooter, but look at how he changed the game in the situation that we're talking about him. So now you talk about kids are wearing the shoe, check. That's what we were doing with Jordan when we was kids. We still wearing them now. We loving the retros. So like you said, they find their tinker. This is the guy who is having the conversation and not the LeBron, where we're like, yeah, that's a freak of nature. But we also said that about Magic. We said that about a couple of people that came through that didn't solidify that next level of the kids is the one that really took the legacy on. So you might be onto something that who the kids are wearing now is the conversation they're going to be having when they are age and they still wearing them, trying to retro the Currys back in the day.
I think the reason why he caught so much buzz, because LeBron, the average person does not look like LeBron. He's a freak of nature. But if you see Steph, you like, whoa, he look like my size on TV. So every kid like, hey, I might not be 6'8", but I might be 6'2", 6'3", and I can shoot just three.
I might be 5'8".
Yeah, 5'7" for me, and I can shoot the rock. I mean, his floater too. Not just his three, his famous floater.
handle.
I've seen a lot of smaller kids
for sure.
go in the paint and do the floater.
Right.
So he definitely he changed the game.
Yeah, no,
that's undoubtable.
Yeah, and
I wish he signed to another shoe company though, because I heard that company's not doing well anyway. I couldn't even find a shoe in Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods sells all the team shoes in every color.
And the kids.
And I went to go find his, and they didn't have them.
They haven't been. Well, when I was working at that place, they had they have for kids. I mean, this is what it is, right?
Okay.
But I was gonna say it's kind of the model how what Puma did. Obviously, you know, Melo's with Puma, but at this point now Puma is back popular again. They've caught on. You know, the Puma with the Vince Carter years was horrible. You know,
nobody messed with him.
He had to figure out a way to get out of that contract, in which he did.
Yeah.
But then, what did Puma do? You know, they stuck around because they made good soccer shoes. That was their seller. You know, Puma had the soccer market on lockdown.
And
then
the
what do you do from there?
Track world, you know, if you sponsored the Jamaican national team, you're gonna get some pub.
And so what do you have to do from there?
And the casual shoes still popping, the old school casual joints.
Yeah,
but you know, those. I mean, those I think were select. Like it took a certain group of us to kind of still rock those classics because they weren't heavy on the releases. They weren't marketing like, I gotta have these. You gotta stand in line. But what they did was, what do? You go get Jay-Z and you put a big name behind it, and now Jay-Z's in charge of the basketball branding of that shoe. And what do you see from there? Jay-Z starts wearing Pumas, and you're like, damn, Jay, those actually look good on Jay's feet. What do you like? You know. And then from there you see
Hey, look,
basketball.
you sound J. Cole.
Then from there it just then you start getting these names, and now it's cool to have it. So if Under Armour can start with the designers.
Yeah.
If you can get a designer in there and you get a name to kind of make it trendy, I mean they'll be all right. But sticking on MJ, CB, what's this one all about?
So, kind of still sticking, obviously, in the sports and sneaker realm. Uh, MJ and his son Jeff starting a tech firm together. First time that, first venture of this kind that they're going into. And one of the major selling points of it is that with this move into the metaverse, right, is that they're going to be providing a lot of resources for athletes and those types of entertainers to basically get into the metaverse and do some of that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. And it's interesting to see MJ venturing. Like, we know that at this point he's got lots of different business ventures, more things than we know about, more things that we can name. But it's really cool to see something like this come out, especially with all of the NFT talk and all of these things that are going on nowadays. This is relevant, and MJ's right in the middle of it. So I thought it was pretty interesting to see the news come out. And obviously, it's dope that they're naming it Air, Heir. Him and his son, being involved. That's dope. And we talk about trying to carry on a legacy. We were talking about on the show, Kaleo, how none of MJ's kids really carried the mantle as a player, but there are these other opportunities in the business world that they are having this opportunity to keep carrying the legacy on. So I thought this was pretty dope. The story was profiled in Black Enterprise, so it's one of those things where anyone who is interested in, we talk about Black Wall Street, Black Business Series, the stuff that's really close to the We Are Something Else heart. I feel like this story kind of fit right along in with it. So I was interested to see if you guys had any thoughts on MJ's move here, kind of basically into the metaverse, and also continuing the legacy on with his son and continuing that family tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think at this point, the man's done everything, right? He can do whatever he wants. He's probably done, everything he's ever wanted to do. I think that this is good, something different to get into, and it keeps you kind of in the realm of what's popular right now with what's brewing with a certain group of people. Everybody knows this virtual reality thing is getting ready to kick up and be huge. I mean, we talked about NFTs last night and how, this is for people who have money just to burn on non-tangible items in the real world. This is like building up your 2K player, like
basically
times 100 kind of thing. So it's becoming a thing. MJ has the money and the capital, the access to get into this world. And hell, he could just be the financial backer and let his son do it, or I'm sure there's a team behind him. But I think it's good to expand the brand at this point. What could he lose on something that's just brewing, and it's really, really simmering, and at a certain point it's gonna pop, and this is what the world will be like.
You saw how we bring up Jay-Z. When Jay-Z started Rock Nation and he started managing players, how it shifted that industry. You know what I mean? It literally went from a lot of dudes that were in suits that looked like my dad, literally having all of this business, to now dudes that look like the round table here. They're the agents. They're the guys that are, coming to the table and having those conversations. You talk about if this company, if Air becomes like the go-to for athletes when they're trying to get into this space, that first mover advantage, that could be something that we talk about cementing a legacy. This is like a completely different path than sports.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing it. I'm really glad he's doing it because it's gonna be a lot of other people outside of athletes that's gonna probably take a little bit off their likeness, so they get to get in because it's gonna be a big universe, man. I'm definitely happy that it's happening. I don't know too much about it, but I'm glad that MJ is there to usher some of the young guys into a field that usually they probably wouldn't have a seat at the table. Their likeness will be there, but they might not be able to get as much as they could. So now they can invest in it as well. So I'm happy for MJ. And he put his son on. One got a shoe store. This one was probably a tech guy.
Right.
And
you bring up a good point. You say you don't know much about it. I think that's the great part about all this, that there's so much to learn. And the fact that nobody knows a lot about it, there's still room to get in. So, but that's side talk. We're talking about this story in shoes. Go ahead. Who's up?
True.
Not like to piggyback what B was saying is, I think is what thing about it is it's limitless. You never know where it can go.
Mhm.
And like you said, Khalil, it's early. We can still get in it. We can learn it. So I mean, I'm glad they in the forefront of it. And like you said, it's the future. So you might as well get into it. Hey, it's in the inevitable, man. We can't stop it. Bitcoin, all of it's digital. Everything's digital, man.
Right. If you haven't seen Ready Player One or Ready Player One,
man, I watched it again last week.
This is it.
Just to refresh myself.
Yeah.
But let's be honest though, if anybody going to usher our culture into the metaverse, it would be Jordan. Let's be real. Our generation can afford to play in that game, and I'm gonna follow Jordan before I follow someone else. So it'd be nice if you buy a pair of Jordans, you get an NFT with it. First one to say it.
It's coming.
Right.
Might as well.
Nike's working on it. Nike's working on it.
Yeah, I saw what they bought out. They bought that shoe company out.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said it'll help with people doing replicas and all that kind of stuff and UAs and stuff. So if you got an NFT with your sneaker, every time somebody buys it, every time somebody buys your sneaker from you, I guess you would scan it or whatever it is. How would it work? You get a piece of that shit. That should be dope though.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
The resident Black Wall Street representative from the We Are Something Else, but not just playing. But to put on that hat for a second, no, because CB alluded to it, right? That I'm gonna come at this from the stance of like where everybody's talking about, but I'll take it even a step further, right? Understanding like what Beezy said is like something to get behind. Is something for us to get behind because it's matured with us as a culture, right? Which is the ones that didn't mature are the ones that we didn't follow, that we didn't keep with us, or that was left behind. You know what I mean? The fact that he's doing this is showing the maturity of a company that we can't be just a shoe company, that we have to then go from the family name is not just Jordan related to shoes, it's Jordan related to NFTs, it's related to, capital, it's related to bonds, it's really all the stuff that we have to start diving into to be able to say the little nuggets is what we're able to then get involved in and be behind it. So where that then it creates more of a universe of us being in there, right? And I think like Draymond, KD, all of them cats that was out in Silicon Valley, that was like, I would have never been in this space had I not come to this location. So you're talking about making a business sense that's not just basketball wise, but that's for the future to say, now I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I would have never been in this had I not been in that area. Now, if they're in there, they're letting their homeboys in. Who's letting their homeboys in? Like you said, the table now looks like us, and we don't have to wear suits to make these business decisions. You know what I'm saying, or to do the things to get put into that position. So, yeah, from the standpoint, this is what we need. This is what the culture needs in order for us to say that we're not just a shoe company, which again garnishes a wide range of money. But that money being spent, like Beezy said, in different aspects that can gain us where we're at. Whether, like you said, that's like if we sat all here and just said, "Yo, we gonna put $1,000 together and go buy a piece of land." We are now considered owners, and you're talking about land where now the state now owes us money for buying something from them that they benefit off of, but now our kids benefit off of. That then creates that generational what we do with it is because we decided, like we own that. And it's not something that we're saying that we're just wasting money, you know what I mean, to say we did X, Y, and Z. The nuggets are being put there, and that's what it is. He's sparking that now. What else can we get into? Because if Jordan's into the NFT, what else can we get into that we know those
Yep.
doors have been open because of everybody else.
Absolutely. Look, great point. Okay. That was good. I mean, two good, healthy topics to talk about. But now look, this is why we're here. this is why we're here. This is why you were here. This is why everybody's watching. Look, I've seen a lot of lists floating around social media, Twitter. You know, all the big shoe house companies have put out their list. And again, there are a lot of consistencies with like undeniables throughout the year, right? And I could tell through the list that I've seen here. So this is gonna be fun. It's gonna spark up some good conversation. And just to see where everybody's head was at, whether you took an L on these shoes, whether you actually got them in the collection. So let's just get busy. So top 5. So a couple of us did honorable mentions, a couple of us didn't. If you did, you did. If that's cool. If not, oh well. You know, you could just, if you have one to come to mind, we can do that. But my honorable mentions tonight: Alma Manier ones and the trophy rooms. People forget the trophy rooms. Hell, I forgot the trophy rooms came out this year. They came out in February.
And you forgot it. You forgot they came out, and you have a pair.
And I have them, right? Exactly. And I totally queued up this picture wrong. Whatever. But yeah, I forgot because we did it for the 100th episode. That was my shoe. But I realized the 100th episode was this year too, wasn't it?
Yeah, time
yeah.
flew.
So it just showed you how the year has gone and where we are with the year. But I'm on year ones. I mean, this is probably one of a lot of people's sneaker of the year. It gets the honorable mention here, just because when I did my list, I tried to not have a lot of consistencies, just because there are some other shoes I think outside the box. So my number 5 is the ZX 10,000s. Whatever these are. These are the Adidas and Simpsons collab. These are the Krusty the Clown collabs with Adidas. These one I got on the Confirmed app, and I tried to get them. Tried to get them through the Confirmed. It just didn't happen because they went fast. That's the Simpsons collection was pretty hot this year, so that one's my number 5. My number 4. This one was another Confirmed. This is the Pharrell Nmd S1. Is that right, CB? S1, yeah.
Yep.
So the colorways for this that came out, the white one was the first one. Didn't get them. The black ones, I don't know if the black ones are dropped yet, but the black ones are amazing. But then there's also a blue and a yellow that I've seen floating on Pharrell's feet. Obviously, he has them. But yeah, man, these things are just hot. I mean, you think about Pharrell being one of the biggest collaborators with Adidas, his shoes really don't miss. And he actually had a couple other HUs that came out this year that are actually pretty dope. But these were the ones I wanted. Couldn't grab them. All right. Number 3. We'll go with the off-white 2s. I know E. Rich got something to say, but these things are hot. And also, kind of, again, I'm with the route where me and Beezy were having to talk about, things that Virgil has done this year. And this is probably the most recent one. And I love the 2s. And I thought this was a pretty good silhouette that he did. This is number 2. We can go with the fragment lows, the Travis fragment lows. Now, all of us in this room know my story about what happened with me and these things this year. the craziness that there was during that sneaker drawer day. But yes, I did cop those. It's an amazing shoe. I think first time I wore them was we had a gathering at our office, and CB was there, and I was rocking them, and only CB knew what they were. Everybody else,
The only two dudes at this party in streetwear and sneakers. Everybody else was dressing
Hoodies
like
and
they were supposed
khakis.
to be at work.
Hoodies and khakis, and we just killed the shoe game. Just killed it.
Yep.
And then my number one sneaker of 2021, and this was a sleeper. I did not like it at first, and then it finally hit me. The more I saw sneaker reviews on it, I saw on feets, on foot, on whatever. I saw people wearing them, and that's the Alma 3.
I was about to say that earlier when you said about the honorable mention. I was like, damn, what about the threes? Yeah.
The threes, there was something about the 3 that grew on me over the course of the year, or whenever they started talking about them, where I was like, yo, that really is a dope shoe. Like when you start dissecting it and everything, like the materials on it, and just, I think the plain look of the shoe is what kind of sells it for me. But this is my number one sneaker of 2021. Any comments before we move on? Any questions? I don't know if you have questions, but surprises?
Man, I forgot all about the Off-White 2s that quickly. I don't know how.
It was, I mean, again, this was recent, and you just how
Yeah.
long the year has been.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's so much heat that came out this year, bro. It was loaded.
Amazing amount of heat.
Yeah, it was a
I
lot.
for sure knew that you was gonna have them damn 2s on there, though. I knew one way or
You
another.
knew it?
Yeah, I knew them shits was
And-
gonna show up on your list for this year.
Yo,
Did you get 'em?
Funny. I'm projecting the 2s to be on here more than once.
I
But
mean, there
I
are a
got
lot of
a feeling
repeats.
they're gonna be here more than once too.
There are a lot of repeats.
But I will say I am surprised, Kaleo, because initially you did say that you weren't feeling them as much as everybody else was, but we can all attest to you see something enough, joint starts to grow on you, and then next thing you know,
in your head, you start pairing them with things like, oh my God, that would be amazing. Like in my head, those Alma 3s will go with a pair of brown khakis, and even like a gray hoodie with some kind of dope design on it, or just the most simplistic of a design. Like you can get one of those Bel Air hoodies that
sweatpants
that dropped on the Fresh Prince line. My God, yeah. I mean, there's so many different avenues you could take with that shoe.
Yeah.
So, all right, be easy, man. We got you up next. I don't know if you remember your order.
Yeah, can I say my honorable mention first? Because I didn't give it to you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so my honorable mention is the Yeezy 450s.
Whew.
I thought that shoe
It's a solid
was
shoe.
different. And it was on my list, but I took it away for a shoe to honor a person. And they came out today, and I didn't grab them. The resin came out today.
Yep.
I was sleeping on them because I've been thinking about Christmas gifts for everybody else, so I haven't copied a pair of shoes.
But
I should ask my wife to get them for me. Yeah, I should have.
All right, what you got number 5?
Number 5
Ah.
is Virgil's Dunk Lows 50 collection. So I liked them before they even got hype. I know a lot of people call it the lazy dunks, but in my mind, I thought 50 different types of one shoe, everybody's going to get them. That's what I thought, but it wasn't so. I got mine. So, one of my favorite shoes, man. I don't think anything lazy about this. I think that this shoe
could spin on that shoe.
You could wear so much with this. I mean, gray, the lime green, you can hit them with any color you want it. So I definitely respect. And the quality is not bad either. So you got the leather and you have like the canvas right here. So everybody on my list will be every fabric will be nice on everybody on my list, and there will be a collab because I liked how this year a lot of shoe companies collabed with our people.
Yep.
So number 4 gotta be these. I know they trying to cancel the brother, but that shoe not only is hype, it looks very nice. And my favorite color is blue. And you add black with the backward swoosh. You can't beat that. So I'm hoping that he gets to perform again because I don't think it was totally his fault, but that's just my opinion. And I wanted a couple of his shoes to come out, so maybe I can grab a pair. So yeah, that's my number 4.
I
My
think the
number
only place you're
3
gonna see Travis perform for a while is in that Oculus.
It's
Ultimate
crazy,
In the
man.
VR world.
I hope, because I heard they
Nigga in
took
the
him off for
Matrix.
Fortnite, so I hope he get to come back.
Yeah, he got dropped from Coachella next year too. I mean, this
And his
and then the
drink on
autopsies just
pause.
came back today. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my number 3 is
Damn, I
another
forgot
collab
them
with
shits
the
came up.
Unions. Yes,
I forgot all
and
about him
exactly
too.
that color right there. I haven't even put them on foot yet, but
Thanks.
the material on these Unions
Things are
are
nasty.
crazy. The color hits are crazy, and if you know anything about Union, he's an African American. So I had to support, and I was lucky. Actually, you had to win these actually on the site. It's him and a woman as well. So I definitely had to respect Union once I found out who they were. I saw the symbol, and it looked like it was somebody breakdancing. I'm like, are they black? And then when I found out, they are, I was like, oh. So I definitely have been following them. And like again, the material they put on that shoe is crazy. I haven't even worn them yet. So yeah. Number 2 is another collab. Water be the guide. Come on
Yeah.
now.
That's a
His
dope first
Crocs
shoe,
are
Joe?
going for $700 to $1,000.
Shit
So
makes
I,
me
I,
so
I don't
mad.
want to jack up his name, but
Salehi
Saleh
Bembury.
Benbury,
Yeah.
my boy Saleh, them fabrics on. I don't own the shoe. I am going to purchase one next year. Look at the fabrics. Look at the colors
One of us
of the
does.
Water Be the guys. He has a lot of shoes. He could literally fill up a top 5 by itself, or New Balance by itself can do a top 5.
Yep.
So I had to put that up there.
Hey,
I
didn't he do
definitely
the
want a
whistle
pair.
joint?
Yeah, the your
Yeah, the
joints,
one with the
yeah,
whistle on the back.
and then his Crocs. So I
Yeah.
went on 4 sites and lost each one of them. And I'm thinking they $85. I'm gonna get some Crocs. I was like, oh, that's gonna be easy. Don't nobody know about this.
Nah.
So yeah,
Those and
but
Yeezy slides.
Them damn phone runners, man.
People will wait in line. Them things it's hard to get.
they have the highest markup. Anything from 69 to 80, going up to 700 to 1,000.
Yep.
Like if I bought a $400 shoe and it was originally 200, that's not a bad markup. But from $80 to 700, I can't do it.
Think about this. You can get a 350 or 700 easier than you can get a slipper.
Yes. And the foam runners are kind of hard to get. They're a little cheaper now, but the slippers, I'm not paying that much money for. I ain't paying that much for no Crocs either. So, and number 1, everybody's number 1. I haven't had it in hand, but the story behind it, and if you know anything about the guy Whitaker, the Whitaker Group, he owns a couple of stores, and I have been backing a lot of my African American designers. My show was about that as well. So I want one of them. So if I don't get the 3s, he have other things out there in the works. They actually have a store in DC as well, if you didn't know. So yeah, so if you can, definitely check the store out. There's a lot of high-end goods in there. A lot of expensive stuff in there, but definitely he owns Social Status as well, and they have a nice pair of shoes out there, like collab. So every one of my shoes up there, it was a collab from somebody I look up to, and they made a big ripple in the world of fashion right now. Yeah. Every single one of them, from Union to Virgil, and let's be honest, if your boy didn't mess up, I thought he was be the next in line for Virgil for his shoe to top, but they trying to cancel your boy right now. But
I heard that there may be a 4 or a 5 in the works for the Monnier.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can see him doing. I can see him doing a 5.
Hey, and did you see the Union 2s? They trying to bring back 2s.
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah,
those are coming.
So, yeah.
It makes me upset. They keep showing 2s all the time. I'm gonna end up buying a pair, and me and E Rich are gonna. I don't know what we're gonna do if that happens.
Yeah. Well, when one of us breaks down to do it, then we already know that we've gotten there. But real quick, be easy. What number was your Virgil dunk?
Oh, I got the 11. Number 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely like it. Yep.
All right, E.
All right. Well, you know, the villain is definitely stepping into the front room with this one. You know, I don't care. Somehow, some way, everybody's gonna think that, you know, I was sponsored by this company because they're pretty much all of my damn sneakers. That's just funny. But yeah, you know, when you get sponsored by somebody when you're a kid, you kind of have affinity for them because, you know, they set you up with that nice, you know, AAU bag that you had your jersey on. And somehow, sometimes underneath that jersey and your shoes, there was a little something that was green that you could spend some, you know, in some places. So, you know, they made sure you was happy about your life. But anyway, Cleo, I guess you got my honorable mentions. All right, so we're gonna put those up.
Ah, damn, that was 2021.
So here's the thing, right? The Bluebirds, which were a women's drop, which I think had probably the best colorway out of the fives that came out this year. That blue and the gray, like when you see this shoe, it's almost damn near you almost get upset because you're like that 1.5 alone. There's so many outfits, like you said. I'm looking at Be Easy, like bro. I know you about to do definitely a YouTube about this one because this is one that you can't mess this up. But it seems like this is the most just like this is like the all-purpose 5. You can't go wrong with this at all. Now the Protros, he put up the Grinches, but really it was the Protro 6. It was actually I think they came out with the red. It was like the gym red and black ones, right? The reason why I put those on for my honorable mentions was because yes, they dropped back in the day you know, prior to Kobe passing, but they came out again, and everybody on this platform, I guarantee you, was trying to get that shit, and it was super unsuccessful. But here's the thing, though, they updated the technology of them, and I want to say that the understanding that to not mess up the silhouette or the actual style of the shoe, and to still update the technology of the shoe, I had to put it on there because Kobe was about not only looks, but he matched that you gonna play your best in the shoe. When everybody was going back to the high tops, the mids, he was like, I can be just as great as you in these lows and still have the same support. It don't even matter. And he's what everybody now is using off of the technology of having the best shoe to play in and not necessarily just look good, but his shoes are actually the best to play in, if you will. So had to put that up there. And of course, I'm definitely going to represent for the Lakers and the West Side all day long with something in there. My number 5, though, is let's go ahead and get into it, is the Hawaii Dunk, right? And understand, you know, we all are going to talk about the difference in it's the shoe, but we're more than just the shoe, right? The fact that when you wear these, the fabric starts to wear off and then it becomes a little bit of an orange hue, which is a reason. There's a reason behind that. And understanding, like, you know, we always say as a sneakerhead, wear your shoes, right? This is the reason why you wear your shoes, because there's still something that you get out of this shoe when you wear your shoe. Like, you almost are getting a whole nother shoe by wearing your damn shoe, right? And you realize the people that are wearing them are just sitting there and it still looks the same because you're like, you don't know. You just got it because everybody else thought it was cool and you're not understanding. Like, there's a whole nother element to the shoe.
It's like walking
and
out of a movie before the credits over.
Low key, I also felt like this could have been the shoe of the podcast for the We Are Something Else podcast that all three of us could get and definitely be up in Hawaii, like live and direct from this podcast from Hawaii, you dig, with these on. So, you know, just trying to put that out there in the atmosphere. You know, we can make that happen. We all just got our bonuses too, so you know, let's not act like that. But anyway, number 4.
I'm about to be a part of the cash now, nigga.
Yeah, our sponsor, you know, the DC Shop Pod send us our bonus checks for the year for our sponsors. But my number 4 is something that CB, my fellow brethren, knows and holds dear to my heart, is the Air Max 1 Clot Kiss of Death. Now, man, he showed it first, but I had always looked at it, and I'm gonna just be honest with you, I was intimidated by this shoe because of the clear aspect of the shoe, right? Which was you don't want the shoe to overwear you. Yes, you can put a sock with it. Yes, you can, but to understand the actual, when you get this shoe in hand, look at the detail, look at the back, how, the woven part on the red on the back of the heel, and understanding where they went with this shoe. I think it was a dare move for them to make the clock kiss of death the way that they did, knowing that only a true sneakerhead is going to get this and know actually how to wear this out and really make this a shoe. Because again, you're not gonna see a lot of people with these on. I think this is an intimidating shoe, and I know it ain't got the high acclaim as like a Travis Scott. It don't have, but again, this is that shoe that if you're not doing it right, it's you gonna know that person don't look right wearing it. It's gonna be one of those. Yeah, no, not that one. They could have picked another one. You know what I mean? This shoe will talk for itself if you're doing it right. My number 3. Man, hold up. If understanding, the assignment, pun intended, was that I made sure that I had nothing else other than my zebra cakes and my French fries. What I was most definitely was gonna get my strawberry milks in. You dig? And man, when I tell you, when I cop these, the feel of nostalgia, but also the detail. And I think we always talk about the detail, but the detail goes as far as not the shoe, but also the box. The fact that the paper was the actual calendar and it had the different dates of like, meals, but they threw the Nike slang in there. The other shoestrings. Like this is one of those things that on the social side, they knocked it out the park. Like, let's just be honest, right? Like
Definitely a
between the
sleeper
chocolate
shoe.
milks, yeah, between the chocolate milks and the strawberry milks, like you couldn't have gone wrong with either one. I felt like the strawberry milks was the one that stood out. That was like, this is the one where, let me tell you, I done bought probably about 4 outfits and I ain't even worn it yet because I'm just like, I don't even know which one to even hit with first because clearly I want somebody to see me in these. This is for me is they gonna be like,
Some Cameron vibes, bro.
bro,
Computer
like
Pete.
this is that one they gonna hit the double take. Like, damn, like I wasn't even looking at those like that. Like you said, a sleeper shoe for sure. Number 2, don't get too mad at me. Like I said, somewhere, everybody knows we sponsored somewhere. Just I don't know, it's behind the table. I'm gonna be that person. And I didn't even get them. I'm just gonna be flat out. I didn't get them, but I'm thinking as a kid, we talked about kid shoes. The North Carolina anything colorway was like a necessary item in your closet. I mean, I copped we had the UNC 4s that came out as well, and it was like because I didn't get the 1s, I had to get the 4s. Like I would have been like a whole kid mad at the year if I didn't cop something that had the UNC colorway because this is almost the equivalent of like having the breads, right? Having the black and red colorway. If you didn't have that, you had the UNC colorway. That was the only alternative to where if you didn't have those, you had to have these to be like, all right, you cop some heat, you can still sit with the cool kids that rock these at school. You know what I'm saying? The UNC colorway, it speaks for itself. It's the school that everybody who played ball wanted to go to because of Jordan. But it's also the colorway that it's gonna turn heads. Like there's nothing wrong about wearing that baby blue or if you wear that Carolina blue. So that's where it was at. And my number 1, I'm gonna go off of what we all talking about. I don't know if you can see it because of the little live button, but it is the Virgil dunk. I ended up copping I think mine's the 14. But BZ kind of said it like, the collaboration. I presented this shoe for I think the last one that I was a part of when we are something else. Of course, I missed the last one, but understanding what's behind the man, what he did for our culture. We discussed it on a higher level of doing it with humility. Nobody has anything bad to say about this brother when he was here. You know what I'm saying? That speaks volume. We all know it is when people are gone, right? Everybody speaks well of the gone, like you really speak ill of somebody like that. But you're talking about as he was walking this earth, the type of service that he was doing for us as a community, as a culture, and for him to really kind of tap into like I said, the fact that, you know, we're a part of the high end, you know, fashion where we can always say, like, we made high end. We go back to the Dapper Dan, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't for the certain ones, they still wouldn't be rocking what they're rocking today because we made that shit popular. You know what I'm saying? And I think Virgil had a vision of what we do actually moves the pendulum or whatever way we want it to. And that's just how we roll. And so, like I said, I had to make it my number one. And again, just, you know, it is what it is. You know, everything about the shoe in itself, and I'm gonna do a Be Easy move. I'm gonna definitely show the shoe. It's so clean that you don't want to wear it, but then you also want to honor the man and you want to wear the shoe so that you can show that his brilliance, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's one of those shoes that you want to cherish, not only because he's gone, but it was also one of those things where I admired him from afar of understanding where he was trying to go. And it meant more to me not to even try to get a shoe just to be like a stand or just to say I have one, but I'd rather read his story and see what it's about and know like how he's gonna like literally infect the next person that's going to be the Virgil or that's gonna take what he gave them and let that shit ride like a if you will, like a Be Easy, right? Straight on our own right here. As far as putting it out, as far as what we do, you know, the culture behind of nobody cares, you know what I'm saying, how many you got on your platform. It's the love behind what you do and how you put it forward. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why we here. Like I said, I feel like our table is the standard that we set for everybody else that's not commercial. You know what I'm saying? We do this because we know what's behind this shit. So that's where it's at. That's my number one.
Hey man, that a lot of
Dope.
people was down in that shoe for some reason, called it a lazy dunk. But once you got it in hand, his shoe is totally different from mine. I mean, he has different
Right.
fabrics
A lot of
than
people don't
mine does.
understand. Yeah, a lot of people
And
don't
then
Yeah, a
that
lot of people
understand.
don't know
yellow, oh
that.
my God, you see how that yellow hit? Oh my God, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope. All right, E.
All right, so I got two honorable mentions that I didn't give you, but I don't know. I just wanted these were pretty popular, man. I just think it was super clean, but my honorable mentions the black and white dunks, man, the low tie ones.
The ones that just came out.
Nah, not the old like the panda joints, the white and black
Oh,
ones.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the panda low dunks. Those were they were I don't know they were just clean, man. You can't really go wrong with them. Um, so that was my honorable mention, and my another honorable mention. I got these. I just thought they was like super slick, and it was a bit of nostalgia. I was so happy I got them. Was the Home Alone ones, yeah. Like, bro,
Yeah.
there's so many cool little details in them, man. Like, they all got like the different like soles and shit, and
Yeah,
then like
man.
the
Adidas
lace
won with the
joint.
collabs this year, man.
Yeah, and then like all the laces, they got like all the weapons that he used in the house, yeah. And it's
That's
like
crazy.
so
That's
many little
crazy.
details to them, man. These joints, I don't know, man. I just
That's
fool with them,
dope.
man.
No, that's dope. That's again, that's like a nostalgia purpose thing. Like with the Simpson collab, man, and that yeah, I definitely went for those. Did not.
Yeah. So my number 5, man, was the Griffies, man. Duh, I mean, just for nostalgia purposes. Come on, man. It doesn't get no better than the Griffies, man. I mean, we it brings you back to what, like 93, 94 or whatever.
What an
Like we're
era, man.
kids. Yeah,
What an era.
it was a mean era, man. And dude, so these set the year off for me personally. I think they came out like February,
Yep.
and bro, like yeah, they set the year off for me, man.
I
When
caught
these
that
came
L
out,
early.
yeah, when these came out February, I was like, oh, it's about to be a good year for the shoe game, bro. Like I just knew where we were going, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, it set the year off. My number 4 was the fragment joints, the collab joints they had with what's those what's the Wolf the obviously the name wrong, yeah.
LD
Give me a name.
waffles.
That it. There we go. But yeah. I just thought they remind me of New Balance, yeah. But it like a
Definitely.
click it was like a remodeled New Balance, yeah. But no, nah. And then I had like a similar version of these, but they're comfortable. That's what people understand, man. These joints are super comfortable, man. You can wear
Yep.
these joints out, and I just like that they just so clean, they neat. All right, so my number three, probably one of the most hyped ones of the year, the Cool Grays. That joint
Yeah,
was,
bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was super, yeah, man, it was super hyped this year, bro. Like, I mean, you already know for the whenever 11 comes out for Christmas or whatever, you already know what time it is. It's going to get super hyped. Then I think they didn't have this they didn't have this around for like it's been a while since they retro these joints, so you already knew what time it was.
Look, they hadn't retroed them in a while, but there was a special run about 7 years ago that they did for about 12 people, and then
Ah, yeah.
but look, I will say, look, and this is gonna be a fucked up statement, but when to see people on the news fighting in the streets again for Jordans took me back to a great time for shoes. I was like, God damn, we're back. Sneakers are
Oh,
winning. Just took me back.
I do got him in the background here.
There
So
you
yeah.
go. It just felt really good to see people out in the streets fighting over J's again. Like, damn, we're like it's like 98 again.
It brought back a bit of nostalgia.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so my number two, man, was the What the P Rod joints, man. Um,
I completely forgot about these joints.
Yo, yeah, I think a lot of people forgot about these joints, man. But I'm a dunk fan. I love low top dunks, and these joints I just like them because they had every single element of P Rod, all the shoes put together in one, and it's just so smooth in the way they did it, man. Like you could wear it with so many different things, man. You can go all different places with it. I just think it's a sleeper shoe, and like I said, people forgot about it though. So
Did
that's
you
my number
score them?
two.
Did you score them?
I didn't. I wanted them joints,
Oh,
bro.
okay,
I
yeah,
wanted.
man.
Oh man, I wanted them so bad, bro. And my number one, man. Shout out to Virgil, man. The off white twos, man. Bro, I think what he did with the off white twos, he made people remember twos again. Because a lot of people thought a lot of people used to trash twos. It's just funny because they be like, man, twos. Some people think the twos are the least favorite out of all the Jordan, bro. But me personally, I like the twos, yeah.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Me
Me too.
personally, I like the twos because I was a fan of the black and white twos, and my,
Yep.
my favorite twos of all time, me personally, is the Carmelo Denver joints, yeah, the high
Yep.
top Denver Carmelo joints, man. I love those, man. Like they need to come back out with those. They come back out with those, bro. I don't care what I'll pay the resale for those. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, so man, shout out to Virgil, man. He does it again, man. He makes my number one on the list, man.
Yeah, bro. Like my favorite two that I actually own is when they did the run probably about 6 years ago was the black with the infrareds, the black
Yep,
and infrared. Those were
yep.
those I was able to grab those. Yeah, man, that's a solid list. Um, CB here to close out the show.
I loved E's list right there because he had like half of my honorable mentions. Um, because the way that I had to set myself up here is all the nostalgia basically was my honorable mentions. So you're talking about the Cool Grays, you're talking about the Fresh Waters, you're talking about the Bacons, the Clot Air Max ones, the Kiss of Deaths. Those were all retros. Like those were all joints that they brought back. And then the Strawberry Cough Dunks and all the Sakai collabs because I got so many of them and I thought they were so dope. Especially for this year, the blue fragment ones, the blue fragment LD waffles, when they dropped the pictures of those, I was like, it doesn't matter what those cost, I'm getting them.
You
So
told me that. You told me that
yeah.
before.
And it became so then I thought in the beginning of the year when I'm seeing some of these sneakers that are coming out, I'm like, my top five is going to be easy. I already know the joints that I want. And then we got here and I was like, golly, how do I narrow down a list of like 40 shoes to five? So this was a way of me kind of helping myself narrow it down. Let me knock out all the nostalgia re-release pairs and all that. And let me try to just take one model from a particular brand. So I wasn't
Yep.
just having an entire list of ones or an entire list of, like Adidas or something like that. So we'll start it off. My number 5 is the New Balance 2002R Protection Pack in the Rain Cloud colorway. You can't go wrong with a gray New Balance. They're literally undefeated. And I had to choose between these ones and the Salehi Bembury Water Be the Guide joints. I actually have those. But there's something about the protection packet being a general release. They're still
Did you score
kind of
those?
No, I did not score
I thought
those.
you did. Okay.
Because even though they were a general release, still hard to get, and they're reselling for still a couple $100. It's like 500 in my size last time I checked. But the details are dope. We talk about bring up Virgil. He really popularized nowadays that deconstructed, that look. And these have that kind of feel to it with the way that they jagged the suede. And because it's a New Balance, the quality is top of the chain. So it doesn't matter if it's a collab or if it's a general release like these, the quality is outstanding. And for me, you can't go wrong. For me, this is my number 5
Real
sneaker.
quick, shout out to New Balance. New Balance had a really big year.
They
Even
did.
to just the general releases. Like I wanted the all gray 5740s, like the spin that they took on those,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
they were sold out before I could even get them in the cart.
Yo,
Yeah, I told you.
the 550s. That was a good
Yeah.
one.
I think, who is it? Someone just dropped Size. I visited them when I was in London back in January of 2020 when I was out there. Size just announced they're dropping like 3 different 550s, I think.
Damn.
And so those are supposed to be coming next year, which will be dope. So now my list basically becomes the the James Whitner appreciation totes. James Whitner appreciation list of the year. So my number 4 sneaker is the Social Status Strawberry Milk Dunk Mid. Like E. Rich was saying, you can't go wrong between this one or the chocolate one. The story is incredible. But for me, the pink, that the way that they use the colors for that pops more. The materials are off the chain. And I mean, it's a dunk mid. Like, who has a dope dunk mid? No one. Social Status has it. They're the ones that have it. No one's rocking dunk mids, but this is one to buy. Everyone else is doing the lows or the highs. Who dropped a mid? Social Status did, and they fucking knocked it out of the park. So shout out to James Whitner and the Whitaker group, because they are destroying things. Which will lead me into my number 3, which is the A Ma Maniere 3. You really can't go wrong with this shoe when you're talking about the quality and the story behind it. A Ma Maniere is basically the modern take on Black luxury. Like, that's what they position themselves as, and it shines through in this model right here. The premium materials, the inside liner looks like it belongs on a luxury jacket. Like, the leather, buttery soft. The suede is ridiculous. So like, this is the type of shoe that when you put it on, you're putting on something that's quality. Like, it looks sturdier than a regular 3 does. You know what I mean? So like I said, it kind of basically just a James Whitner appreciation list. But I had to put the 3s on there. So that's
And
my number 3.
Shout out to whoever at Jumpman is getting these collabs to happen. It's got to be one of the sons. It's got to be Marcus, maybe perhaps Jeff, but someone within that group range is allowing these collabs to happen, and they're killing it, making these. This is a lifestyle basketball Jordan. Like, typically, the lifestyle Jordans mimic like the Vans or anything like that, but this is a basketball shoe, the basketball brand that has converted into a lifestyle. I mean, trust and believe, PJ Tucker played in them, but
I mean, we could just do our own top 5s of Jordan collabs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the collabs have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
But my number 2 is actually truly not a collab. It was presented and brought to market by our friend Pharrell, but the Nmd S1 is the only actual new shoe on the list. All of these other models existed before. This is the only shoe on the list that literally did not exist before 2021. For me personally, as a fan of the brand Three Stripes, I've been waiting for them to come out with a model to kind of get me excited about where the brand is going. Um, Obviously, I'm still a fan of the Ultra Boosts. I'm still a fan of a lot of the NMDs and stuff, which do none of that stuff has the same hype it had 4 or 5 years ago. But this shoe right here, it kind of got the juices flowing again for Adidas, because I was like, yo, like they haven't come out with anything that really is this interesting and looks innovative. So for me, this was my number 2. You can't go wrong with any of the colorways. Kaleo, like you were talking about, the friends and family colorway that a lot of the guys that we saw on YouTube and what Pharrell has, those were beautiful. So I'm hoping 2022 holds a pair of these in store for me at some point. Don't know if it's going to be a new colorway or one of the ones that are already out, but you better believe my sights are set. But there's only one spot at the top, and it was an honorable mention that led the show off, but it is not an honorable mention in my heart. It is the Ama Manier Jordan 1. And really the choice between the 1 and the 3, it's this simple. I like the 1 better than the 3, so that's why it's my number 1. I could have gone with either of them there, but for me, the 1 is my favorite Jordan model of all time, so there's that. And the burgundy accents on there, killer. The fact that they went with cracked leather instead of a tumbled leather or any other material
details.
For like
details on that shit.
I am all about the details when it comes to especially the collabs, and the story behind these are amazing. Go to the Ama Manier YouTube, watch the 3-minute video that accompanied the drop for these. It's dope. And it's one of those things where when you talk about luxury, they knocked it out of the park with the materials. You got the wax laces, you've got the like reptile skin mimicry with the like the swoosh, and you've got kind of the faded midsole look, which you also get on the 3s, which that nowadays when you think about people bringing retro back, like retro is now what is hot and new. You got these shoes that are coming out that already kind of have that vibe. So for me, like I said, 3 of the top 5 shoes, Whitaker Group, James Whitner, he's the mastermind behind Social Status and Ama Manier. So gotta give a big shout out to him. But I had to include Adidas and New Balance on here. So that's how I round up my top 5 of the year.
Definitely, man. Look, appreciate all y'all, man. Look, these were great lists that you guys put together.
Hey, so I got a question. So, who do you think, my personal opinion, who could lead Nike back after Virgil? I would say 2 people. I would say Ali LeMay. Nobody put hers up there, but her design.
She's tough.
I love those 14.
And Wintergate. Those 2 to me could take the next step, because between Mama Is and Social Status, which is owned by the same person, they have knocked it out the box. To me, I think they should be the next person to design the next 10. Man, I can't wait to see it. And then they always have a story with it, so that's what's good about it. It's always, and Layla May, hers has a story for each one of those 2. But I definitely hope that he gets the next one up to go ahead and tell a story and have a good group of shoes coming out for 2022.
And I didn't even think about another honorable mention I wanted to put up there was the Billie Eilish 15s, though, man.
Oh yeah, bro. Fabrics,
bro. Those things.
Because I wore them over like a couple weekends ago, right? And I was thinking about, because I was talking to my man, I said, yo, remember when they first came out, people hated the 15s? They were like, what the fuck was Jordan doing when he first came? Dog, they were ahead of their time when them shits came out though.
Those are the
And
first ones that
I
kind of
go
pushed
back
the
and
envelope. Yeah.
yeah, he did. They pushed them, but I go back and I look. I'm like, dog, them shits was almost like the Yeezys. And if it's like the Yeezy with some add like the Yeezy sleeve and put the leather around it. And I was like, dog, that shit. Yeah, it was futuristic, man. Yeah, so nah, but that was an honorable mention, man. That was one of my sleepers this year, man.
Yeah.
Cleo was hot. Cleo was hot when he saw that I had got those the originals when they came out, and then he was like, "Bro, you just sitting on those?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I knew those were the, like you said, the futuristic joints. I was like, everybody was looking at them like, first of all, they are horrible to walk and to play ball in. Like they shouldn't even be for either none of those two. They literally are there just for style, like and look purposes. But yeah, man, like I agree. Like there's some aspect to the story is what gets a true sneakerhead behind the shoe, because the story then is told on the shoe, and it's not just, oh, that looks dope, or I like they did this. There's the reason why they did X, Y, and Z. And like you said, it's gonna come down to, again, we talked about this before, not only the resale side of the house, but it's also going to be the bot situation that's going to then, you don't want that to derail the actual, you know what I'm saying, the authentic, the authentication that we have with the person that's presenting the shoe. If then the true sneakerheads aren't able to get it, that you're just kind of playing towards the bot masses that are just like, look what I got, let's throw this resale up for, like you said, $700, where we can't get our hands on it to really kind of give it its flowers of what it is for our culture, instead of just kind of being a thing. And I think, we got to talk about it, because that, once you talk about it, it puts it out in the atmosphere. You don't want that to be the case where we get lost in this, because I feel like we are kind of teetering on the technical side of the house, where we could almost become the distinct side of this sneakerhead thing, if you will, right? Because the younger generation that's botting it up is almost, moving us out the way, because they're not taking it as serious as we are, as far as what we're doing here today.
It's the flip,
It's a lot of collabs that I admire the person who made the shoe, but I couldn't get it because somebody wanted to buy it to sell it to me. Exactly. So they bought it to sell it to the people who really wanted it, instead of just letting me get it.
And then it becomes the chase. Like
a PS5. I don't have a PS5 yet because people who don't play PS5 decided to buy a PS5 and jack the price up.
You gotta wait. But you know what? You don't have to buy a PS5 right now, because that GTA collab with Dr. Dre and Anderson, that's gonna keep me from buying anything. I'm about to download that.
That's why we're not getting GTA 6 anytime soon. They're adding stuff to online.
They're letting you know that right now.
Hey, that should be another show. That's probably the longest running game.
It's one of them.
That they didn't have to make a new one. It's going on 10. Is it 10 plus?
Because of online. They don't have to create a brand new. They can just drop
the first metaverse.
Just drop content. Exactly, because you really thought you living in that shit. Like,
my whole
mood was changing.
Car.
I was staying up late robbing people, and it was crazy. Real quick, what I was saying
and then he would go home and play GTA.
I will say about the 15 is, again, I think we talked about this recently. The presentation on how they unrolled that 15, like that I told you, the MJ getting out of the limo in the rain, Mary J. Blige's Overjoyed playing, and then to know that was his first shoe post-retirement, like, because those weren't the last shots, were the last shots.
Yeah.
And when he came back with the Wizards, like, he didn't, those were there were a couple miles in between, but the 15 was the first model outside of MJ being retired. So he didn't play in those, but that's when you just like you said, from the type of fan or fin type backing, then the woven mesh kind of thing like that. And I remember the first time I saw him, I don't know if you remember, if you were there, but it was a pep rally in high school. Big Tigger did the pep rally. Big Tigger had them shit, and they weren't even out yet. They weren't even out yet. I was like,
I remember that shit. That's what made me get him,
bruh. Like, Tigger had did shows at our school, and he will always come with shit that wasn't even out yet. But I remember that. I remember that shit, bro. Pep rally, Big Ticket was hosting and had them shits on. We were like, what the fuck are those?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That was the first time I saw him in person.
Yep. Because the internet wasn't big back then. It was East Bay.
Yeah. So funny you say that though, because again, like I think that part of that was my last shoe that I got 2 weeks before they dropped. Like that was my last connect with when that was where you can go to the Nike store, and if you had whoever was a manager was able to cop that, they knew the list, they knew when they was coming through, they was already in the back. You know what I'm saying? You knew how many nines that you had. I remember I copped those, and I was like, these are trash to walk in, but I'm wearing them because this is probably the last go round to getting them, 2 weeks before they came out. But yeah, that shoe, again, if I remember correctly, that was where it was still like the all black jean, and it had to come over because if it looked funny if you didn't sit right on the shoe, right?
Oh yeah.
Then you had, and that one is when I put it with the Jordan with the Chicago jersey that had the red pinstripe. Had to do it that way because of that red stripe on the back of the shoe.
That's a classic jersey too, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but
That
thinking
shit
of
hard to
collabs,
find too.
E, were we doing the cuff rubber bands?
very.
The rubber
Yeah,
bands.
that was a rubber band jeans, bro.
Right? and then the tie of the hoodie.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we-
That was that era.
Open hoodie.
One thing about the DMV, we never wore excessively baggy jeans because we always showed our shoe.
Yeah.
We didn't wear excessively baggy because we always had $150 to $200 pair of
And
shoes
you gotta
on.
have rubber bands to hold them to cuff them.
The
Hey,
rubber
nah, I
band
was-
cuffs were
Dog,
joggers
the Swiss pants,
back in
man.
the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Swiss joints, bro.
Yeah, you know that's still a hack though. You can put a rubber band and cuff the jeans
CB
just a
is
little
the
high.
only one
just
I
on some
know
fashion.
that can get the pin roll perfect on his
Pin
jeans.
roll.
I can't get the pin roll. To
I
save
can't
my
do
life.
it. I tried it. Got to do the rubber band. The
Yeah.
hack. But
It's just
thinking
like
about collabs,
origami.
man. Like I said, Alila May, her 14. The story behind that and the jade color with her Filipino background. Oh my
No, I
god!
love that shit.
Nike definitely did not even just Nike, but a lot of collabs hit it out the park this year.
Yeah, nah, they did their thing, man.
Yeah, they really went to the crate. Like, let me give them something for the resellers, give them something for the bots to talk about.
Right,
So
exactly.
they supposed to make bots illegal, right? Somebody up high was
Yeah, I
like,
heard
"Hey, I
that.
can't get my
Yeah.
shoe for my son, so let's make this illegal."
I'm
Supposedly.
telling you, it's
Good
old
Chad's
Karen,
mom.
man.
Chad,
It was
It's
somewhere high.
Chad's mom.
Karen, man. I'm telling you, hey, put Karen on the job, she get it done.
Yeah, he like, hold on, you want the J's and I can't get them?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Karen get it
illegal.
done, man.
Are you Michael Jordan? Let me hold on. Who's your manager, Mr. Michael
Yeah,
Jordan?
yeah.
and CB though,
So
I
God
think
bless her.
our
Oh,
CB our introduction to the twos should be the union twos that
I
come
mean,
out.
those
them
Union
things are
twos,
nice.
Those
Those are
I'm
nice.
looking at them. I'm like, golly, why they
Oh,
gotta
they
make
got
them look
they got a
so,
picture of them
so
already?
good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ain't seen
Yeah,
them?
they
Oh,
clean.
shit. I gotta see them
Clean.
joints.
I seen the
Yeah.
brown colorway.
Don C twos were like a crazy amount of money.
Don C, another one.
Don C make some good
He's
shit,
got
bro.
some good J collabs.
Very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. He did
I
it. I
mean,
like the Don C Converse joints too.
Yeah, I like his shoes. He actually got some clothes coming out, but to me, it kind of stole the DC style of the jumpsuit. His new jumpsuit with I think it's not DTLR. I think it's City Gear, something. But they kind of look like something you got from like Shooters. To me, he kind of stole. Well, we can get to another show how a lot of people stole the DMV style when I went to college. And they were talking about my moon shoes. You got some foam posits on.
They look
and
for
those
us,
small
bro.
jeans.
They look
So
for
you
us.
know.
Hey, that's
everybody
another
had.
honor. Yeah, that's another honor mission we ain't think about. Yeah, and the Garcon foam posits joint.
Duh. They was what 450, 500.
If they were not 450 retail, you better believe they were going to be in consideration for the top 5.
Yeah.
Just from the aesthetic.
That 450. I caught that was rough.
Yeah.
Woo.
And that was
But
retail.
those joints are crazy. Like they look insane.
Yeah. Retail.
Yeah.
Them Gucci's.
Right.
Gucci.
All right, let's put a wrap up on the show. We can stay in the room. But look, we want to thank everybody for watching. Happy New Year. Exactly. Happy New Year. And look,
Happy
3, 2,
New
1.
Year.
Hey, welcome to 2022. hopefully all the sneakerheads, get what they want in the next coming year. Start getting your list together because look, we're here, and there's a lot of things rolling out in 2022 from what I've seen. I think we finally get the Bordeaux 7s back, which I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
I think the Bordeaux 7s on the list.
The Seaman 3 is coming back, I think, yeah.
I did see that probably on the list. And there's a couple of different colorways coming out in a lot of people's favorite silhouettes. So, but look, y'all, Soul Tales. I want to thank everybody for watching. Happy New Year again.